Can you feel it, Leafs Nation? That familiar cocktail of heart-pounding anticipation and nail-biting anxiety as another season dawns? It's a feeling etched into the very soul of every Toronto Maple Leafs fan, a potent mix of hope for what could be and the lingering frustration of what hasn't yet been. Tonight, we're diving headfirst into the swirling vortex of expectations surrounding your beloved Leafs, where a veteran leader continues to defy the odds and whispers from behind the scenes suggest the roster might not be as settled as you think. This isn't just another preseason rundown. This is a deep dive into the strategic plays and emotional currents that will define Toronto's quest for glory. Welcome back to the channel, your ultimate destination for all things Maple Leafs. Before we plunge into the latest, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single update. Because, trust me, the next few weeks in Toronto promise to be nothing short of a whirlwind. When John Tavares signed with the Toronto Maple Leafs in 2018, the goal was crystal clear, almost poetic. Fulfill his childhood dream of playing for his hometown team, and, in doing so, lead Toronto back to the pinnacle of the NHL. He arrived as one of the most consistent and respected centers in the league, fresh off 9 stellar seasons with the New York Islanders. He joined a young, electrifying core featuring Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, and William Nylander, forming an offensive nucleus that promised to transform the team into an undeniable title contender. Since that fateful signing, the Leafs have been a regular fixture in the playoffs, a testament to their talent and regular season prowess. Yet, that elusive second-round barrier has remained, a formidable hurdle that still separates Tavares and the franchise from their ultimate dream of hoisting the Stanley Cup. Despite the collective struggles to break through, Tavares himself has maintained an incredibly high individual performance standard. In his 7 seasons with Toronto, he's recorded 3 campaigns with over 35 goals, for more than 70 points, and an average close to a point per game. These numbers firmly place him among the NHL's most productive centers during that period, a remarkable feat for any player, let alone one navigating the intense pressure cooker of the Toronto market. Beyond his scoring touch, he remains a pivotal figure in face-off battles, consistently winning possession, and continues to be a high-impact presence on the power play. At 35 years old, Tavares continues to be a reliable, productive, and disciplined player, proving that experience, when combined with unwavering dedication, remains a decisive factor in a league increasingly dominated by youth and speed. During the 2025 offseason, he genuinely surprised many by agreeing to a shorter, lower-value contract. This wasn't a sign of decline. It was a calculated, selfless decision to prioritize the team's salary cap flexibility, a move that came directly after Mitch Marner's departure necessitated significant payroll adjustments. Tavares could have easily pursued a larger, more lucrative deal elsewhere, but he chose to stay in Toronto, unequivocally reinforcing his commitment to the organization and its passionate fan base. Internally, this move was hailed as a profound act of leadership. Even without wearing the C on his chest, Tavares remains one of the most respected and influential voices in the locker room, a true captain in every sense of the word. After a 2023-24 season that, by his own lofty standards, was considered below expectations, many pundits and fans alike began to speculate that his physical decline had finally begun. But Tavares, ever professional, responded with one of his best performances in years. He tallied an impressive 38 goals, 36 assists, and 74 points in 75 games. In the playoffs, he scored 5 crucial times, helping Toronto reach the second round once again before their eventual elimination by the formidable Florida Panthers. He not only regained his near point-per-game average, but also maintained strong 5-on-5 efficiency, effectively silencing all the pessimistic predictions. Today, Tavares serves as a vital 1B center, sharing offensive duties with the incomparable Austin Matthews. This strategic deployment allows Toronto to maintain 2 top-scoring lines, making it incredibly difficult for opposing defenses to match up effectively. While Matthews spearheads a main unit, Tavares anchors the second line, alongside the dynamic William Nylander and the tenacious Bobby McMann. He consistently maintains a face-off success rate above 56%, is a guaranteed presence on the power play, and averages around 18 to 19 minutes of ice time per game. Without Marner, he's expected to shoulder even more creative responsibility, during man-advantage situations, acting as a pivotal fulcrum for offensive rotations. Tavares' style of play has undeniably evolved. He no longer possesses the same blistering speed he once did, but he brilliantly compensates with elite positioning, unparalleled vision, and exceptional puck control. His game is often compared to that of Joe Pavelski, another veteran who masterfully adapted his approach to thrive in the modern NHL's relentless pace. Like Pavelski, Tavares dominates the area around the net, using his uncanny positioning to convert rebounds and short passes with surgical precision. His ability to protect the puck and control the tempo of plays remains among the best in the league, making him an absolutely essential component of Toronto's offensive system. For the 2025-26 season, expectations are that Tavares will maintain his technical leadership role, with increased power play involvement and a continued reliance on his hockey IQ over raw speed. Projections indicate around 32 to 35 goals, 40 to 45 assists, and roughly 70 to 75 points, keeping him firmly near a point-per-game pace. With Nylander and McMahon on his line, this trio has a potential to be one of the most productive in the entire league. Even without the captain's title, John Tavares remains one of the true pillars of the Maple Leafs culture. His professionalism, relentless work ethic, and meticulous conditioning serve as an inspiring example for the entire team. His new contract had a direct and profound impact on roster stability, allowing Toronto to maintain crucial depth and competitiveness without compromising their precious salary cap space. He has been instrumental in keeping the team firmly among the top contenders in the Eastern Conference. 7 years after his arrival, John Tavares is still chasing that same singular, powerful goal, leading the Maple Leafs to a Stanley Cup championship. He has overcome periods of immense pressure, sharp criticism, and necessary role adjustments, but he remains one of the most productive and disciplined centers in the NHL. With offensive balance and a wealth of experience, Toronto enters the 2025-26 season with renewed motivation and a strong, cohesive core. If Tavares maintains a remarkable consistency he showcased last season, the Leafs will undoubtedly remain among the favorites for the title. John Tavares has proven that he's still a key piece of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and that experience, when managed wisely, continues to defeat time. The Toronto Maple Leafs are on the cusp of another NHL season, and as is tradition, the atmosphere in Toronto is a captivating blend of anticipation and uncertainty. While much of the city still has its eyes glued to the Toronto Blue Jays MLB campaign, the Leafs are preparing to reignite one of hockey's greatest rivalries this Wednesday night when they face the Montreal Canadiens. It's the kind of game that revives the league's traditional spirit and serves as an early gauge for what's to come. But there's a major difference in this season's start. The team hitting the ice tomorrow might not be the same one we see in the coming weeks. According to Elliotte Friedman, the Sportsnet insider and one of the most trusted voices in the NHL, the Maple Leafs are actively and aggressively looking for a top six forward. They're searching for someone capable of complementing the already potent offensive core led by Auston Matthews, John Tavares, William Nylander, and company. The challenge, as Friedman astutely points out, is that top six caliber forwards rarely, if ever, appear on the waiver market. This means that if General Manager Brad Treliving truly wants to strengthen the roster in a meaningful way, it will almost certainly have to be through a trade. Friedman notes that the team is meticulously evaluating both short and medium-term options, possibly targeting players who are in the final year of their contracts or underutilized talents on other teams who possess the potential for immediate impact. There's also an intriguing internal alternative, Easton Cowan. The young forward had an excellent preseason, impressing everyone with his blistering pace and undeniable skill. While he hasn't yet secured a permanent spot on the main roster, he remains firmly in the coaching staff's plans. If the team's offensive production falters in the initial weeks, it wouldn't be surprising to see him called up quickly to provide a much-needed spark. Currently, according to TSN, the Leafs' forward combinations, despite still playing at a high level, are shaping up with Auston Matthews, Matthew Knies, and Max Domi on the top line. Max Domi comes with a strong reputation as a playmaker, but he still needs to prove his consistency in a competitive environment like Toronto. Matthew Knies represents the energy and physicality needed to create space on that top line, which is absolutely essential for Matthews and Domi to produce offensively. On the second line, Tavares and Nylander maintained their established chemistry, with Bobby McMann serving as a complementary piece, a high-intensity forward, strong in puck battles, and capable of generating chances near the opponent's net. The big question, however, is whether this line, and indeed the overall forward group, has enough depth to sustain a long and physically demanding season. On defense, the picture is thankfully a bit more stable. Projected pairings are Jake McCabe with Chris Tanev, Morgan Riley with Brandon Carlo, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson with Simon Benoit, with Joel Edmondson and Connor Timmins as reserves. The additions of Tanev and Carlo give the team precisely what has lacked in recent seasons: defensive robustness and a significant physical presence in their own zone. Both are defense-minded players, which should ease some of the immense burden on Riley, who tend to participate more actively in offensive transitions. The defensive system also adopts a new structure, with Benoit and Ekman-Larsson on the third pairing. The team gains an interesting mix of experience and stability. Both are expected to play key minutes on the penalty kill, an area that desperately needs significant improvement after an inconsistent season. In goal, Anthony Stolarz has been confirmed as a starter for the season opener, with Caden Primo serving as backup. The expectation is for Stolarz to establish himself, as Toronto opted for a cost-effective contract after years of uncertainty in the position. The goalie rotation will be closely monitored, especially considering the team's history of injuries and inconsistency in this crucial area. From a management perspective, there's a delicate balance between immediate competitiveness and long-term planning. Toronto is firmly in a window where it needs to capitalize on the peak years of Matthews, Nylander, and Tavares, without compromising flexibility for future reinforcements. The ongoing search for a top six forward clearly shows that the front office recognizes this urgency. The first 10 games of the season are expected to serve as a laboratory for coach Sheldon Keefe to make crucial adjustments. If the team starts strong, it will likely maintain the current structure until mid-November. But if offensive production is inconsistent, especially on secondary lines, a trade could happen sooner than expected. Toronto possesses one of the league's best offensive cores, but faces the same perennial challenge: turning immense talent into consistent championship-level achievements. The game against the Canadiens is not just a replay of a historic rivalry. It's the first real test for a team still searching for that perfect balance between strength, creativity, and tactical discipline. While Toronto's attention is currently split between baseball and hockey, the Maple Leafs are entering a season that could very well redefine the franchise's future. The talent is there, the experience is there. What's missing is turning potential into tangible achievements. And the first answer starts Wednesday night. So, Leafs fans, what do you think about these two situations? Does the veteran leadership of John Tavares still have what it takes to lead this team to the Stanley Cup? And could the ongoing search for a new forward be the move that finally turns Toronto into a true contender? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I want to know what you would do if you were in charge of the Leafs. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to follow all our NHL analyses and updates. The season is just beginning, and Toronto is set to be one of the most talked about teams of the year.